I've been called out a lot. I'll start with this. Pekka, get better. We need you. Mike, good luck with your 50K. I'm curious if it's Canadian or US dollars. This is actually probably my fourth take now because I keep making 10-minute videos, so I'm going to try and do this really quick. Seth says I'm not a new game developer, but the reason why you don't recall anything I've released before is because I really haven't. I've been doing GB Games part-time for years, and I blogged a lot, and blogging has been my main income. I put Google ads up, and that's income for my business right there, but it's not a lot. It's not covering, and it covers hosting, essentially, for my blog. Any games I've made were for Ludum Dare competitions for the most part. I once did Game in a Day, and it was, a real simple hacked thing together, and like a lot of my Ludum Dare games are just hacked together, which is, the whole point. But up until this October Challenge project, which was a Ludum Dare project from August, the theme was Stop Enemies as Weapons, and the game is Stop That Hero, and I took 3 days to make that for the game Jam. It took longer than I expected. It was a lot of new AI stuff I've never done before. I was really proud of it, and the October Challenge was actually the perfect thing, I thought, because I made the thing in 3 days. I should be able to polish it up and release it in a month. I underestimated the technical requirements. I underestimated my lack of skills and knowledge. I did everything wrong in terms of game development because I focused on, I spent a lot of my time writing code instead of making the game. Doing the game engine instead of the game, which everyone knows is a no-no. I've written about it myself, and yet here I am still working on the October Challenge, partly because I'm reinventing the wheel. Mike Hummel says everything's, making small games has just as great a chance as succeeding as a big game. And Phil was talking about, called me out specifically and asked how do you know people are going to buy your big game? How do you, what kind of evidence do you have for that? And he's absolutely right. For a big game, I don't think, you guys are all right, you don't make big games up front. I don't think I mentioned this in a video. I might have said it on my blog related to the video, and maybe that's where it was, but yeah, make something small, see if somebody likes it, build on that. Andy talked about doing that with Steamburgs, and that's exactly what I'm talking about, is that it seems that a lot of people don't do that. They just put something out there and make a few bucks and then move on. But if something sticks and you find that there's an audience there, build on it, make something of that. And so it sounds like we all agree on that. Where I disagree is with Mike Hamill's idea that it's all random. And maybe I'm just naive and optimistic. I'm not actually making games for the iPhone, and so maybe I don't know how things work, but I believe you make your own luck. And the idea that you throw things out and see what sticks, it's one thing if you're talking about you don't know what an audience might like. But it's another thing if you release a game, you polish it up and you put it out there, and then you expect that your hands are free. You're just relying on whim and circumstance, and you have no control over anything. Do something. Andy talked about sending emails and press releases, and asked about what else you can do. There's development blogs, there's videos that make it really easy for people to share what your game is about. Make a Facebook page, tweet about development. There's lots of ways to build up a fan base separate from expecting people to find you on a top 10 list that you might not make it into. Again, I might be naive, but I would think that taking action would be a bit more useful than sitting back and hoping. And I think I might cut it off at this point. because I've taken so long before, I'm trying to make sure I have everything covered. I'm not saying that marketing like that is easy. It's hard work, but I don't know, it just seems like it'd be more rewarding to make something you want to make rather than and build up an audience. I mean, obviously if there's no audience there, then you're at your peril. But if there is an audience and they don't know about your game, I mean, expecting chance to work in your favor if you don't do anything, just it smacks of I don't know. Is it just me being naive, or is it just a matter of everybody knowing what all the new guys don't know? How much can you really control in your life? I mean, there are things outside of your control, but I would think that telling people about your game is something within your control. You don't need $1 billion. I don't think you need a lot of money just to do a blog. I mean, you need a web host, maybe. You can get a WordPress blog for that. I don't know. You already have a website hosting a game, presumably, or something, but I don't know. It just seems to me that too many people expect that it's a matter of chance, and if you rely on chance, well, then you're going to have dismal results compared to if you do something according to some kind of plan or take action on something. Maybe that's the optimist newbie talk. I don't know. But hopefully that covers everything, and I'm going to go to lunch.